Did you go? Okay. When I was little, probably 12 or 13 years old, my family and I went on a summer road trip. We camped along the East Coast and enjoyed the bursts of green trees and blue ocean. On a particularly windy day, I was most likely avoiding washing dishes or setting up a tent. So instead, I strolled along the path next to grass and picnic tables. Suddenly, the burst of wind picked up to probably up to like 1,000 miles per hour, and little me was almost blown away. But instead of shrinking from the gusts, I chose to embrace them with open arms. Literally. I even went as far as to climb onto one of the picnic tables, lift my head towards the sky, reach my arms out, and essentially pretend I was an anime wind character. I probably looked pretty funny, but as time has gone by, that experience sticks vividly in my memory as a moment where I felt truly free. I don't quite remember how old I was, or whether I was in Vermont or North Carolina, but what I do remember is the power of that wind slicing through my fingers, whipping away the gloomy, boring day, and leaving me in awe of God's powerful creations, and that I could be a very, very small and influential part of them. The purpose of me telling this story today is to help all of us have similar experiences. Maybe you felt the awe and relief that comes from witnessing the birth of a child. Maybe you felt the feeling of unburdening when you stop comparing yourselves to others, or the freedom when you end toxic relationships. Whatever it might be, we all desperately need to have more moments where we feel truly free. In the Bible, in John chapter 8, it clearly outlines what types of freedom these experiences give us. In this chapter, Jesus says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." The people at the time were confused by this phrase. They asked Jesus, "We be Abraham's seed, and have never been in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free?" Essentially, they're like, "Yo, we live in a free country and have never been slaves to anyone. What are you talking about, Jesus?" But the freedom Jesus is addressing is the same type of freedom I am addressing today. He responds to the people and says, "Whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin." This freedom Jesus is talking about is not based upon nationalities or circumstances. It has nothing to do with other people and their decisions. This freedom is internal peace. It is the intense willpower of one willing to often say, "It is my fault, I am sorry, and I will try to do better." This freedom is knowing that no one is ever responsible for your actions but you. In the book The Hiding Place, a character named Betsy ten Boom is imprisoned in a concentration camp with her sister Corey during World War II. As you can imagine, the camps contained awful living conditions, and the guards brutally punished innocent people. There really seemed like no reason to rejoice or be happy at all. To top it all off, their beds and bodies soon became infested with fleas. And yet, Betsy found it in her to thank God for those fleas, because the guards who would otherwise come in and disrupt their Bible study and punish them were thwarted off by the thought of getting infested with those very same fleas. This story is interesting to me and the point I am trying to prove today, because though Betsy was in the midst of awful physical bondage, I believe her outlook on life and gratitude to God truly set her free. This is the freedom Jesus Christ spoke of. Betsy recognized the truth of her situation, what she could and could not change, and chose to be set free. Later on in the book, and long after the war is over, Corey struggles with the ability to forgive those who treated her and her family so brutally. She was finally liberated from the concentration camp, but understandably was still held in bondage to the poison of never forgiving. But what I want to point out is that in contrast to her sister, though Corey was liberated physically, she was not internally free. It's these vices that concern me. Not so much the visible and obvious bondage, the physical chains and prisons, but the type of captivity that we cannot see with the natural eye or hear with the natural ear. Though you may live in a free country, ask yourself, are you truly free? Are you chained down by addictive habits, starved without the attention from others, or encircled in the prison of blame and guilt? Can you walk each day with a clear conscience, void of offense toward God and man? This topic has weighed heavy on my mind as I've observed the great lack of care our world has for personal freedom. We have not developed those eyes to see or ears to hear. Our eyes instead look towards other things: acceptance, peace, productivity, power, brilliance, and happiness, but rarely personal freedom. It's coming. I know it's coming. Rarely personal freedom. And in the midst of our searching for other things, we're often led down unknown roads and strange paths that limit our access to personal freedom. I want you to consider, how often do you seek for happiness and acceptance in unwise ways, never considering how your personal freedom will be affected? As I've considered this question, I've come to realize how often I seek for happiness in unwise ways. For example, I'm a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As a missionary, you're assigned to serve somewhere throughout the world for up to 18 to 24 months and are given a companion. A companion is with us 24/7. We're advised to never leave each other's side. Before you think that's weird, actually, it is kind of weird. We're kind of a peculiar people. But, understandably, when you're stuck with the same person for up to 3 to 6 months, certain things start to bug you about them, and you realize that maybe you didn't get along with people as well as you thought. I have discovered that it would be easy to remedy the situation by asking for a new companion and choosing to give up on getting along, which in certain cases is what needs to happen. But most often, freedom does not come in changing your situation or running away from your problems. Freedom comes in accepting the reality of your circumstances and recognizing the power you have to learn, grow, and improve from them. As I have learned from Corey and Betsy ten Boom, I have come to understand the importance of that simple verse of scripture, "The truth shall make you free." This truth, that you have been given the power to accept and overcome your circumstances, is life-changing. It is so important. This truth enables us to be humbled by the loss of a job rather than discouraged. It helps us to take courage in the fact that we play a big part in healing strained relationships. It gives us a sense of power over our life and actions that dispels fear and anxiety. Whether it's discouragement, hopelessness, a loss of money, a tragic event, or simply annoying circumstances and people, I have discovered that this truth has enabled me to not only accept the hard way, but to learn, grow, improve, and be liberated from it. It is my constant prayer that each of us in turn will dig deep within ourselves and discover the truth of each and every circumstance we are put into. The freeing, unburdening, glorious truth that you have been given the power to accept the hard way and to discard the easy way. To take up your cross. And though life may spit upon you and whip you, though others may try to convince you that you do not have power over your circumstances and that others need to change and not you, though you may be experiencing dark moments of despair, though you may be cheated, bruised, mocked, the truth is that you have the power, like Corey, Betsy, and that great one of old, to say, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Please join me in not shrinking from, but courageously facing the furious gusts of wind, lifting our head towards the sky, reaching our arms out, and feeling truly free. Thank you. How long is it?